Hi, Best Buds. It's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. Today, we're going to make a mini file folder journal. But first, let's have our shout out to Sheila, Tammy, Carolyn, Nancy, Joyce, Julie, Mags, Gretchen, Lenny, up on Calico Hill. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to start off with a piece of cardstock. This is out of my paper pad, and I suppose I should show you what that paper pad looks like. This is the paper pad. Whoopsie. Right here. Winter Berry 60 sheets. I know you can order it online. I happen to find it in the store. I know that Christmas pads, larger ones, aren't easy to find. I trimmed my little piece of cardstock down to 5.5 by 4. I rounded the corners, and I happen to have inked the back, and of course it bled through on the front a little bit, which I like. I inked around the edge. I rounded the corners. So this is going to be our little mini file folder. So I have a piece of another piece out of that same book. I did not coffee dye the back of this, and this happens to be 5.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Now I am going to round the bottom right here of this. I'm going to fold it in half like this, and I'm going to look to see what is the middle point. It's about right there. I'm going to bring in this 1/2 inch circle punch. I'm going to punch just a little notch out of this, and I'm going to quickly just run my ink around the edges here, just like this. Okay, now I'm going to open this up, and I am going to, now see if we can see that. I'm going to highlight it just so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to trim down to about, just a smidgen from the bottom. And I'm trimming it down on the side with the notches taken out. And then I'm going to take just a sliver on either side. So it's going to be a very small piece of pie here. Just like this. That's a little crooked. I'm going to even that up just a little bit. Okay, so now it looks like this. I am going to go ahead and I am going to fold my larger piece in half. I need to go ahead and ink it here, and I need to ink it here. All right. So now I'm going to take this, and I've cut it to fit my little card, and I'm going to get my glue. It's right here. And I'm going to be gluing right here and right there, and then on the bottom, and then on the sides, not on the top. So I'm just going to place my glue right on here like this, and down on the bottom and around the edge. There we are. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to place it right here on the bottom. Now the reason why we took a little pie shape out, it's just going to help with closing it so much better. It's not going to be as bulky. So I'm just going to press it down. I'm going to check to see that I've got it on there correctly. That's pretty good. There's just a tiny little bit right here. I'm going to trim just a tiny bit. There we go. That's probably more than a tiny bit. It's okay. It's all right. Nothing's perfect about this. All right, so there we are. We have our 2 pockets in here. Now the next thing that I did was I folded some paper. I've got that wonderful coffee dyed tracing paper. I have some coffee dyed book page, and I have some coffee dyed copy paper. And the way I got it, the simplest way I got it to be this size was I took a standard, let me move this out of the way real quick, a standard size sheet of copy paper. This is 11 by 8.5, and I folded it the long way in half. So let's let's do that. Opened it back up. Then I folded this side to that crease line. We're just going to do just like that. Oh, that wasn't a very good job right there. Okay, that's a better job. And I'm going to fold this one into the crease line. Just like that. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut on this fold. The middle fold I'm going to cut. I'm just trimming this middle fold. Okay, got that. So now we have it looking like this. I'm going to put them both together, and I just took my little book and I said, okay, I want this to be about this size. I want it to fit inside my booklet. And all it did was I just trimmed it, just like that. And then I kept measuring. I used that as a guide, and I kept measuring. And so out of that sheet of paper, I'm going to go ahead and just trim them down. Out of that one sheet of paper, I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little pads. Now I'm not going to put 6 in there, but that way you could make more than one if you wanted to make more than one of these little mini file folders. Now I am going to make 12 of these, and this is going to be another piece in the bundles, the Christmas bundles that I'm making up. This is going to be another piece of ephemera that's going to be in those bundles. Now I told you the ones I had, and I'm going to sew that right in the middle. And the way I like to do it is I like to position my papers inside. I like to grab myself some large paper clips and just secure those papers right onto my cardstock. So just going to secure that on just like this. Then I like to make, let me find where it was, my little cheat thing. What I do is I measure. Now I want all my stitches to be on my pages. So I have measured only the length of my pages, not the length of the total book. Then I just trimmed a little piece like this, just a little, I don't know, that's probably about 1 inch wide. And it's going to be as long as your pages, your signature pages. Then you're going to fold it in half. No, then you're going to fold it in half the long way. Then you're going to fold it in half and in half one more time and really crease it well. Open it back up. Take your pencil and mark with your pencil the intersections of the folds, and there should be 3 of them. Then I place it right in here of the fold. Make sure it's where you want it with your signature. And then I place another paper clip on either side. Really checking it to make sure it's stuck in there. I'm going to get my pokey tool, and I'm just going to hold my pokey tool straight up and down and push it through where my intersections of my folds are, where I put the pencil mark. Then I'm going to remove this. I'll leave everything else the way it is. I have already threaded my needle. This is just embroidery thread. It's red. And I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Now doing it that way, you are going to end up with extra thread, but I always say it's better to have extra thread than not enough. I like to start in the middle, and I push it clear through like this, leaving myself a little tail. Then I go from whatever side, it doesn't matter, just go to one of the other sides. So you're coming up, then you're going to go all the way over to the the other one that you haven't put any thread in and pull it. Now you're going to make sure that it's not caught on anything, and you're going to go back through that middle hole, just like this. And you want your needle to pop out on the opposite side of your center thread. So it's like that. Making sure there's nothing caught on the back, pulling it, not too tight, but pull it, firmly. I'm going to trim this off right here so I don't lose my needle. And then I'm going to tie a knot. Now, if you want to add some dangles off of this signature tie, you can do that. I actually am not. I'm just going to trim it right there. And that's all there is to that. Now you have your signature sewn into your little mini file folder, and it looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So you've got 6 pages in here. We have some little pockets in here. So let's see. I've got a little journaling card, a tiny one. Let's pop that in there. I have another little kind of like a tea card. I'm going to pop that in there like that. And now I want to decorate the front and put a little tab on. So I have a few things here. I have punched out myself a little tab, and I'm just going to add some fabric tack on to this, and I'm going to apply it right to the front, and I want to make sure I don't put it where the pocket is. So it's going to be right above the pocket. I'm not going to cover my pocket up with my tab, but I've got it just like that. Now I want to decorate that tab just a little bit. So I have a little piece of coffee dyed lace here. And I am actually going to trim it right here. I'm going to add a little bit more of the fabric tack. And then I'm going to add my piece of lace, just like that, right on top. So it's really going to be a lace tab, but I needed that cardstock cut so that I can mount that on to the tab. Now I've got that done. I have a little piece of book page that I have torn with my tear ruler, and I've inked it up. And I've got a couple of these little cutouts, fussy cuts. I really like that Santa. Let's see about this Santa. This Santa's pretty cute too. I think I'm going to use this tall one. So all I'm going to do, I need to probably ink this one a little bit. It doesn't look like it's very inked. I want to ink it a little bit more. I think I did, but I'm just choosing to do a little more. I'm going to get my glue, and I'm going to just apply my glue onto my book page right here. And I'm going to place this down right on here like this. I'm going to tear it off. Okay. Probably need to ink that up just a tiny bit. There we go. And then that's going to sit right on there like that. So, oops, this came out of that book that I showed you the other day. That's why it has a background that looks like that. And I'm just going to place that right on here. Now for just an added little thing, I'm going to add some glue right on the edge where the tab meets the cardstock. And I'm going to put all my, oh goodness gracious, that kind of exploded. All right. I'm going to bring in my little tiny gems. I'm going to grab a pin. I'm going to add some glue onto the end of my pin, and I'm going to go in. I'm going to get a red jewel. I'm going to get a green jewel. I'm going to get a gold jewel, and I'm just going to line this edge right here with some jewels just to make it, I don't know, sparkle, just to give it that little pizzazz. just to give it a little pizzazz. So that's almost done here. It doesn't matter what colors I've got. They're all the Christmassy colors. Oh my goodness, isn't that sweet? And inside you've got your pockets. You've got 6 pages to journal in, and you've got that side. Now, here's one here. Aren't they sweet? Oh my goodness, they've got the jewels on that end. The same thing, I've got the pockets on either side of my signature. I have this one right here with Sandy riding a bicycle. It looks the same inside. And then this very last one, it's got this little girl in an umbrella, and she's got the little pockets inside. I've got the little pockets inside. And I just think these are spectacular, and I think they would add a lot to your holiday journal. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.